Hello everyone, welcome to Caroline's Craft Tree. Today we are going to age some letters. Now this would probably work on any papers, anything really. I've never really done it a lot. Actually I'm gonna say I haven't really done it at all. I wanted like more detailed than just like inking the edges or something like that. I want it to look old. I want it to look ratty. I want it to look like it's been in somebody's pocket for years type thing. So I've got these letters that were for, they're in one of my digital kits called Daffodil Love Letters, I believe it is. I'll leave a link to it below anyways. I wrote a series of letters back and forth from a guy named Frederick to Daffodil. So anyways, that's it. So I went and I cut one of them out. And I was thinking about tearing it, but I decided I wanted to cut it. Now I've seen a few videos on this, but I haven't seen them in a really long time, so I can't really remember what happened in the videos. So I'm just kind of going to go by memory and just go by what I think. So I cut it, and I did distress, and it is a tea stain digital paper on the back of it too. So my first thing is I want to take it and I want to fold where there's any lines, and I want to ink that like that. So then there was another fold in the paper right here. You might not be able to see those folds, but just to make it look like those spots are a little more worn. And I mean, we could just make up spots too. I guess it wouldn't hurt to ink them a bit on the back side as well. Let's go ahead and do that, because I do want the back to look old and aged too. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, like I say, I'm kind of new at this, so just trying to figure it all out. And I think this corner needs, I'm not sure what the finished product is going to be yet, but we will find out before too long. Okay, so we don't want it like too much. So now, whoops, put the ink on there. Let's I'm gonna kind of fold it up, make it look like it was in somebody's pocket. I don't really want it to be folded perfectly. And let's do one this way. And I don't know, maybe I should be doing other steps first. I have no idea, but we will see how it turns out. I mean, how do you wreck a piece of paper that you want all grungy and messy? And okay, so we got that. Now I've got a little spray bottle. I use distilled water in mine. I just buy a gallon of distilled water at the drugstore or somewhere, and then I put it in like things like the bottle, these little paint brushes and whatnot, because then the water doesn't go bad. Because water will go bad if you leave it sitting in these things forever and ever. So I'm just going to spray a bit of water on here, and I'm going to crumple it up as tight as I can. Now, carefully, very carefully, I'm going to unwrap it. Now, if it rips, yeah, I'm not worried about that, because I'm probably going to put some holes in it anyways. And I want to make sure that I really get the edges. So we're going to kind of mush it up a few times. Okay, let's open this back up. And I sort of want it flat, but it's not that important. And I'm just going to very lightly rub so that some of my lines pick up some of the ink. Where the water hit, it's kind of almost turned green. Not really green, but a greenish tinge to it. I think just the mixture of the ink from the paper. Now this was printed on just a 20, yeah, it feels like a 24-pound card paper, just a copy paper. And this was printed on my old inkjet printer. So now I want to just pick a couple spots, and then I want to ink this pretty good here and here. And just, yeah, just kind of like that. I do have some old tape, which I took off of things. So I'm going to find it. I looked for it briefly, but I couldn't find it. Then I'm going to put like a little piece of old tape on there. And we need another rip or two in here. So we've got another one here. Just ink that up. Now, with the edge, I didn't dig out my one tool I wanted. And it's right here though. I got this little thing, and these are like razor blades in here. And you use it, and you drag it along the paper, and you can see that it kind of just makes it rough. I'm not going to do that all the way around. I'm just going to do it in some spots. And see what happens to it all. Some spots will do a little more than others. This is just to make it look that much older. Now in the process of doing that, I did do a couple of rips, and that is totally okay. We'll ink up any white bits that showed up from the little tiny stirring up the paper fibers have made some of the edges go a little white, and we definitely don't want that. So then we've got this here. Now it looks a lot different than there, even though these were technically different letters, but they were printed on the same thing. And it's kind of fading. Now the other thing I thought about doing, I'm gonna get a wet wipe here. Just a normal baby wet. And I want to just, you can see that little mark there, and how the paper's kind of curling because it's coming off. So we'll just do that in a couple spots. Don't necessarily want to take it off. It's just to make it look like it's been worn and handled. Could even do a bit of this like along the edge, like where somebody would have held it a bunch. Let's do a little piece up here. Not too many marks, just enough to make it look really good. So now it kind of looks like somebody was holding it like this and reading it often, as you would have been away from Daffodil, so he would have read her letter often. Let's just mark those spots up a little bit extra. You could even put holes directly into your paper if you wanted. I guess the biggest thing is knowing when to stop. And let's see if we can put a few marks on the back too. It's not quite as showing on the back because of the fact that the writing, I think, of the letter itself. So there we have a very beat up letter. Now you could fold this in half and tuck it in somewhere. Or you could put it in quarters, tuck it in an envelope, just to use it. You could write on the back. You could also write like on the front if you really wanted to. But I already have, if you're watching this video, you've already seen what I use it for, because I'm actually going to use this in the next CCT 52 challenge that I'm doing. We needed a letter for that, and you would have already seen that video because it would have been on Sunday. This will be posted on the Tuesday, but I kind of like it. It's old looking. And does it look real? Not really. If it was handwritten instead of using a font from the computer, it would have looked a lot better, I think. But overall, I think it looks pretty darn good. I like it. It's got to dry a little bit. The water does help. You can see where the water has changed color a little bit. It's changed the texture of the paper. You can see the water more on the back a little bit. But I like it. It's easy to do. And it just makes it look kind of cool. Now you could go a step further and make it even more grungy. See some more white over there. Don't want white on it. But there you go. Very easy to do. Nothing hard about it. I don't know whether other inks will work as good, but I'm using the Vintage Photo Distress ink. So I use that a lot. Excuse me. So try this out. See what you think. I am going to cut out and do this one just because I've got it printed. Actually, I had these printed from before, so I might as well do that one up too because I kind of like them. But we'll see you again in the next video. Take care. Visit the website and the shops and all that. All the descriptions and links are in the description of the video. So catch you soon. Bye.